The lunchtime rush was always a whirlwind at Maplewood Diner, but today, there was an unshakable tension in the air. Conversations were hushed, and every clatter of dishes seemed louder than usual. At the center of it all sat Gregory Holloway, a self-made millionaire with a reputation as sharp as his tailored suits. Everyone knew him, not for his wealth alone, but for his cruel words and ruthless treatment of anyone he deemed beneath him. Waiters tiptoed around his table like mice near a sleeping lion, praying not to provoke his infamous temper. But this afternoon, a new waitress named Emily, fresh from a small town and still clinging to her optimism, was about to change everything. Emily had only been working at the diner for a week. She needed the job badly. Her mother's medical bills were piling up, and this small paycheck was the only thing keeping the lights on back home. As she watched Gregory snap his fingers at the staff, demanding his coffee be replaced for the third time because it was too warm, something inside her twisted. She had seen wealthy, arrogant men before, but there was something different about the fear in her coworkers' eyes. This wasn't just rudeness, it was cruelty they had come to expect and accept. When Gregory barked at an older waiter for being too slow and sent him away with tears welling in his eyes, Emily felt a fire spark in her chest. But she swallowed it down. Just keep your head low, she reminded herself. You need this job. That resolve lasted until Gregory turned his icy gaze toward her. You, he said sharply as she passed his table, bring me my lunch, and do it quickly. I don't have all day to wait for incompetence. His voice dripped with disdain, loud enough for the entire diner to hear. Something inside Emily snapped. She turned, her hands trembling slightly, but her voice steady. Sir, she said, standing taller than she felt, everyone here is working hard to serve you. You may have all the money in the world, but that doesn't give you the right to treat people like they don't matter. The diner fell silent. Forks hovered midair, and the usual background hum of conversation vanished. No one had ever dared to speak to Gregory like that, not in public, not in years. His eyes widened, clearly taken aback, before narrowing dangerously. Do you know who I am? He spat. Emily nodded. Yes. But do you know who we are? Human beings. And we deserve respect. For a long, tense moment, it seemed as though Gregory would unleash his notorious wrath. But instead, he stared at her, something strange flickering behind his hardened expression. Without a word, he stood and left the diner, slamming a crisp $100 bill on the table. The air felt electric, everyone stunned by what had just happened. The next day, rumors flew. Some said Gregory had called the diner's owner to have Emily fired. Others swore they saw him driving aimlessly around town that afternoon, looking lost. But by lunchtime, the millionaire himself walked back through the door, not in a suit, but in a simple sweater and jeans. The staff froze, unsure what to expect. Gregory approached Emily quietly. His voice was low, almost unrecognizable. I owe you an apology, he said, his eyes wet with something no one had ever seen on his face before, regret. No one's spoken to me like that in years.